It's not gonna be too long, but check this out, brother Bobby Hemmit. Listen, Moors. See, can I get this to play?
Let me tell you about this. We're gonna put this Moor shit to rest right now. Now, any Moors up in here, you can challenge me on this shit right here. We're gonna put this Moor shit to rest right now, all you black ass Moors. Let me tell you what this thing is about, so you know, because you get ready to get caught up in some bullshit, because the Moors been hollering that shit for years. It ain't here to lick out a damn snake. You can't get out of shit because you a damn Moor. The white man know who the fuck you are. They know you Moors. They know you all types of things. So let me tell you what's going down here. It's a hoax. Now y'all listen to me and listen to me how this shit is going. Any Moors up in this motherfucker? Because your ass is getting ready to go to jail under this terrorism. So you better listen to what the fuck I'm saying. And you better not miss a beat. You better catch this one because the white man gonna catch your ass. Now, this is what's going on. All that stuff, the Moroccan Treaty, and all the more stuff they're talking about, all that stuff didn't happen. There was 5 presidents before. There was the one, you know, you got your Hanson, the first president of America. All that shit is true. But it's a scheme that's going down with the United States government, and that is this. You go and you get all this shit, you make yourself sovereign, you make yourself the Moor, you make yourself all of this here, you go through, and you get all these papers, and you get all this shit signed, and you get all this shit hooked up. And guess what? Homeland Security has the Moors under the terrorist bill, and under the terrorist act, the Moors are one of the first motherfuckers on that bitch. So when you get all signed up and all this shit, they can step to you and say, you are a part of a terrorist organization. Now, I told the people this shit a couple of weeks or a month after 9/11, and I got it on the tape in December. I did one in December. I did a lecture down in Atlanta on December the 22nd, 2001. And I told them.
Now here it is. I told y'all, Bobby Hemmit said he said he talked about this first in 9/11, and then he did a lecture in Atlanta in 2001 about the same stuff going on today. I've been telling these fools.
I told him, I said, now we just blew.
I've been telling these fools, and everybody say they love Bobby Hemmit. Bobby Hemmit said they all going to jail. He said he lectured this in 9/11 and then in 2001. It's 2025, and these Negro criminals making all these videos. I ain't never seen a whole bunch of old people make videos to show you how to go to jail. But yes, I do, because all them old fools going to jail on them podcasts. But we love Bobby Hemmit, don't we? Because I do, and he telling the truth. They paper terrorists. Watch.
This building up in September, and the target group that they're gonna focus on gonna be the Moors. Cause they done whipped the Nation of Islam and all that big ass, they finished. You know, Farrakhan unretired and stuff. So they took them on. You know, it's hard to get a goddamn good bean pie around here.
Let me fast forward from that part.
Bean pies, and then like 5 minutes later, they be back with a couple more. It's right, they go around the corner, they come out with a goddamn.
I just want to fast forward that part.
The Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the newspaper down there, ran a whole story on the Moors. But they didn't tell you whether they was black or not. They didn't tell you what they did. They just said the Moors, an Islamic group in Spain. Now, because they made it an Islamic group, you see, they got you under the banner of the same motherfucking Islamic group that they have dealt with terrorism. Now, it's even more so because the Moors are dealing with all this contractual shit. Y'all, you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, come on.
And all these documents, and they let them go right ahead, they're doing all this shit, and guess what? Then, they declare you terrorists, and they come and round up all the goddamn Moors. And the only thing they got to do is they got these niggas, they got all kind of clandestine little groups of Moors, and they be doing all kind of crazy shit. And once they do this stuff, all that stuff is up under the Terrorist Act. So the Moors is gonna be the first motherfuckers getting locked up with all that gang shit they talking about. We can do all this and all that. Let me tell you something. Anytime you see these niggas coming up and you talking about sign up and get all this shit about the Moors this and the Moors that and the Moroccan Treaty and all that kind of stuff, guess what? Those are government plants. That's their job, to get you hooked into the bullshit. And when you get hooked into the bullshit, that's how they gonna take you down. That's the last group. Understand where I'm coming from with this thing here. That stuff here don't sign nothing.
I told y'all. They be mad when I be speaking. It's good and bad in everything. It's good and bad in everything, and everybody know that. You know, I've been calling it how it is. I say all that stuff is paper terrorist stuff. And isn't it ironic that all these adults are on the video telling these people all this paper terrorist stuff on TikTok, and they allowing them to do it? I just told you, Bobby Hemmit was talking about this in 2001. 2001. And here it is today. It's so-called 2025, right? And people still think that stuff is valid. I'm gonna play one more video.
Sufi just means it's an adjective. It just means woolly-haired one.
Listen.
That's explaining something. It's explaining the word more, how he looks. The woolly-haired one. Sufi, the woolly-haired. Suf means the woolly-haired one. Suf means wool. Sufi just means, that's what they're explaining. So the crocodile cut it off and they say Sufi Muslim now. Those are the mystics of Islam. But it was the Moors that was the mystics of Islam. And they just, what was used to describe the Moors, the woolly-haired one, because the Moors go with Lemuria, Moabite. You get that in the Bible. There was Moors in Greece. What the fuck the Moors doing? With the Greeks talking about some damn Moors, and the Moors supposed to come in Spain. They don't let you know this way beyond that. Hakeem Bey taught you that. You see.
Now watch this. And the Hakeem Bey he talking about is not no melanated Hakeem Bey. Hakeem Bey is a European Jew that wrote all the Moorish Paradigm volumes. I have them all. Just like Peter Lambert Wilson wrote The Sacred Drift. They wrote under their pen name. See, these is big facts.
Shakespeare taught him how to divine, and looking into the future, he didn't get the name Orenthal Simpson right. He got the name.
See, I'm telling you. And so when people be getting mad at the truth, when I be telling these Moors, you're gonna go to jail with all that paper terrorist stuff. You know? I've been telling these Moors this forever, and then you got these people making videos doing this stuff. And people on the internet like, oh, I need that. And I say, don't y'all know what RICO is? Didn't y'all see all these old rappers, Big U, what's the name, Big Brick Baby, and all that stuff, all these old people going to jail, and then these people are willingly on the internet talking about how to overthrow the government and criminal stuff, and then turn around in the same voice, they love Bobby Hemmit, and Bobby Hemmit laughing at these paper terrorist Negroes. Y'all know that's truth. That is not what Moors do. Y'all know that. I just showed the video. Everybody say they love Bobby Hemmit. I just showed Bobby Hemmit tell the truth about Moors. We know the ancient history. But then today, what's going on with all these Moors on the internet and TikTok? It's so many. One of them just jumped in my inbox. I said, man, I usually don't say nothing. I usually just let people just fall with the Titanic. And everybody that's with them just fall with the Titanic. But since they wanted to say something, I say, all y'all going to jail. Every one of you. It's a paper trail. You can't expatriate from this de facto government. You would be a domestic terrorist, foreign and abroad. See, these is facts because nobody never schooled them and nobody never taught them. So sometimes what has to happen? You lose your freedom. You lose your freedom. I'm telling you what. Watch. Let me play Bobby Hemmit again. Then we're going to have this little conversation.
Let me tell you about this. We're going to put this Moor shit to rest right now. Now, any Moors up in here, you can challenge me on this shit right here. We're going to put this Moor shit to rest right now, all you black-ass Moors. Now, let me tell you what this thing is about, so you know, because you get ready to get caught up in some bullshit, because the Moors been hollering that shit for years. It ain't gonna lick out a damn snake. You can't get out of shit because you a damn Moor. The white man know who the fuck you are. They know you Moors. They know you all types of things. So let me tell you what's going down here. It's a hoax. Now y'all listen to me and listen to me how this shit is going. Any Moors up in this motherfucker? Because your ass is getting ready to go to jail under this terrorism. So you better listen to what the fuck I'm saying. And you better not miss a beat. You better catch this one because the white man gonna catch your ass. Now, this is what's going on. the Moroccan Treaty, and all the more stuff they're talking about, all that stuff didn't happen. There was 5 presidents before there was the one, you got your Hanson, the first president of America. All that shit is true. But it's a scheme that's going down with the United States government, and that is this. You go and you get all this shit, and you make yourself sovereign, you make yourself the Lord, you make yourself all this here, you go through, and you get all these papers, and you get all this shit signed, and you get all this shit hooked up. And guess what? Homeland Security has the Moors under the terrorist bill, and under the terrorist act, the Moors are one of the first motherfuckers on that bitch. So when you get all signed up with all this shit, they can step to you and say, you are a part of a terrorist organization. Now, I told the people this shit a couple of weeks or a month after 9/11, and I got it on the tape in December. I did one in December. I did a lecture down in Atlanta on December the 22nd, 2001. And I told him, I said, now we just blew this building up in September, and the target group that they're gonna focus on gonna be the Moors. So they done whipped the Nation of Islam and all that with their ass. They finished. Farrakhan done retired.
Let me fast forward this part again, because he was just talking some stuff.
Where these motherfuckers get these bean pies from? They sell out of bean pies. Hey, I did the lecture. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the newspaper down there, ran a whole story on the Moors. But they didn't tell you whether they was black or not. They didn't tell you what they did. They just said the Moors, an Islamic group in Spain. Now, because they made it an Islamic group, you see, they got you under the banner of the same motherfucking Islamic group that they have dealt with terrorism. Now, it's even more so because the Moors are dealing with all this contractual shit. Y'all, you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, come on.
And all these documents, and they let them go right ahead, they're doing all this shit, and guess what? Then, they declare you terrorists, and they come and round up all the goddamn Moors. And the only thing they got to do is they got these niggas, they got all kind of clandestine little groups of Moors, and they be doing all kind of crazy shit. And once they do this stuff, all that stuff is up under the terrorist act. So the Moors is gonna be the first motherfuckers get locked up with all that gang shit they talking about. We can do all this and all that. Let me tell you something. Anytime you see these niggas coming up and you talk about sign up and get all this shit about the Moors this and the Moors that and the Moroccan Treaty and all that kind of stuff, guess what? Those are government plants. That's their job, to get you hooked into the bullshit. And when you get hooked into the bullshit, that's how they gonna take you down. That's the last group. Understand where I'm coming from with this thing here? That stuff here. Don't sign nothing.
I told people. And this is the funny thing, about everything, right? These brothers and sisters acting like we can't talk about something that's real. I'm getting ready to go work out, so that's the sad part about what's going on. And I tell brothers and sisters, I'm like, listen here, buddy. You should know. Brothers should know. It's my little vest. Hold on. Let me get my shirt on. 1 second. Oops. Hold on. Let me get my socks so I can go get out of here. Yeah, I'm about to go now. I tell all these Moors, I say, come on, man. Y'all grown brothers still can't be that naive. Like, come on. We can't be that naive to think somebody can sell you some type of package and you fill out all some paperwork. And then, and Bobby Hemmit just told you, it's no good. Brothers, what corporate debt are you going to cancel? I asked every Moor. I said, you ain't thought about that? What corporate debt are you going to cancel? You don't have any corporate debt. You know? And this is just the truth. If these brothers can nationality anything, why everybody that's done that went to prison. All you have to do is look up Roger Elvick. Look up Roger Elvick and see what happened to those Europeans that did that. Look up the Paradigm Group in Canada. That's some European militia stuff. Noble Ali never taught no stuff like that. No true God man never taught no crap like that, no paper terrorist stuff. Why? What's the purpose of doing any of that stuff? Any of those, especially those people on TikTok and all that, telling you to solve this and file this UCC stuff. They telling you to do all this stuff that they never did, using you as a crash dummy while they go take their butts to Amazon and make minimum wage and they work with their hands. Why they selling you some type of package, some type of freedom package that's already been proven criminal, that's already been proven sovereign citizen stuff, already been proven. So no matter how if the words is not the same, the language and the behavior is the same. So the same crime and penalty is the same. Like, this should be simple for brothers and sisters. That's why I just don't understand why it's allowed. Well, I do know why it's allowed on TikTok and social media, because it's almost like collateral damage. Like, the group of people you want to get caught up is so astronomically huge. The small tittle of people, Europeans or other nationality, whatever, that'll get caught up in that is a few. So it's worth the hassle. It's worth the collateral damage per se. Think about what I'm saying. That's all I'm asking brothers and sisters to really think about what I'm saying. When brothers that's not foreign nationals, don't have no dual citizenship or nothing, acting like they some Moroccan generals or some consulate general or some president of Morocco. Like, do we understand the psychosis that's in? And then who elected these individuals to be these government officials per se? Who and what body and what army? What, like, do you really understand what I'm saying? I mean, think of this with your own mind. This can't be reality. This cannot be reality, brothers and sisters. It can't be. And if we can get on here and act like this stuff working, all this, and then I can show you a plethora of videos of people getting pulled over and these so-called grand sheiks. I don't have to say no names. I can pull a video up all day, and they come right up and start talking a whole bunch of nonsense of Russia and China and some whole bunch of stuff. And it's going to happen, and some secret meeting happened. And I'll be telling people, if a secret meeting happened with the government, how this person know? If it's some secret meeting, and it's asinine to me. And it's really disturbing that we play this stuff. And I said, man, nobody's seeing through this stupidity and this low-level ignoramus stuff. Nobody is seeing through this. Everybody's saying, oh, that's heavy. How is anything heavy? You get pulled over for whatever, and your so-called whatever come and get to talking a whole bunch of garbage, meaningless. Like, I don't understand none of that stuff. And it's too many videos. And people, what's the hassle? People teaching people, oh, you could get some world passport. Why would you want a world passport instead of just getting the passport? Tell me, why would you want a world passport instead of just getting the passport? Why? You see what happened to Mos Def when he got that mess and almost got stuck in the continent of Africa? Like, why? What's the purpose of all that? And when you do all this stuff, what is it doing for you? I ask these brothers, there's no such thing as a sovereign citizen. You're not nothing by yourself. Why would you want to be by yourself? You have the right to understand who you are. But when we breaking things down and all these people selling you these packages or take this course, or everybody trying to, or man, I need this paperwork for I don't have to pay this, or I don't have to pay that, or I can reverse this. It's like, man, y'all know that's not true. And why would you want to go through the hassle of any of those things? Come on, brothers and sisters. Like, I think we should wake up, and I think brothers should stand strong on a lot of things, because the world is really changing. And I told the people a long time ago, anytime, any language, that behavior, antennas go up, because one, you're on the internet with criminal behavior. It's like, it's popular for people to get on the internet and talk about all the criminal things and make podcasts of all the criminal things that they ever done. And then here it is again. Like Bobby Hemmit said, these people got to be higher agents. Why? Because they on the internet showing you how to break the law. And then everybody in the comments like, I need that information, I need that. And people are taking these people courses. And I ask anybody that done that, how have your life changed? Nobody can say nothing. Why would you want to be harassed? They talk about our prophet said to be industrious. That's not industrious. Like, I don't get it. When people be saying cancel corporate debt, I ask any person that call themselves a Moor, tell me what corporate debt do you have? And do you understand what a willing obligor is? And when you go in contracts, do you read everything? What do you mean? When you got a cell phone, did you read the cell phone contract? When you signed up on Facebook and Instagram and social media, did you read the contract saying that it's social media, that everything can be used? Why? Because you willingly got on here. No one put a gun to your head and say, get a Facebook or social media, Instagram page. No one done those things. And so when people be using truth and falsehood, when these people be, high school and middle school dropouts, and just because they read a Black Law's dictionary, that's meaningless, y'all. Those are nothing but terms, dictionary terms, definition terms. That's not precedent in law. And come on, and I tell people, don't get caught up in a whole bunch of pretense with a whole bunch of people acting like they have some magical wine and they can magically change your life, and their life has never changed. It'd be a whole bunch of fugazi. You know, it'd be a whole bunch of disrespecting other people and things like that. I said, that is not more science. Because if you just said Hakeem Bey, not the brother that y'all's Hakeem Bey, that wrote all the Moorish paradigm papers, is a European. Peter Lambert Wilson, that wrote The Sanker Drift, is a European. They wrote under their pen names. We're not here to disrespect people when we know who we are. What's the use of that? What's the use of belittling somebody to bring you up? Like, a lot of brothers and sisters operate on half truth, and it's not like that. That's why I tell people to rise above a lot of things. When people talk about the chakras, your heart chakra, yeah, that's great. But then a lot of times you have to rise above the heart chakra. How? So you can be on a level where no harm, no weapon formed against you will prosper. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about, brothers. Listen, let's keep it 100. And everybody, I know they can agree with what I'm saying. When you into when I'm in more science or preacher or whatever your language is under your spiritual profession, the one thing that's going to get you there, when I'm talking about playing on a playing field higher than your heart chakra, where you protect it from everything, because you must be sincere. You must be sincere. You must be sincere. What I'm saying, see, watch. A lot of people be dressing up. I call those characters and charlatans. And where this regalia do this, but are you sincere? See, the sincerity and the love and when we talk about the motive, what is wisdom and love and bringing up? That's what makes you above. That's what makes you the most high. Because everybody can wear the regalia. You see everybody with the fez and the turban on, but it's your spirit that allows you not to be touched and not operate on the level of these mortals. Understand what I'm be saying. See, the divine is missing from a lot of this stuff. Because if the divine was there, the divine is what Sophia is understanding. You will understand that everything I'm saying must be said. How? To clear this up. I'm trying to tell brothers and sisters, man, this has been going on for too long. Brothers, a lot of people just got into the science. You just saw the film I played, Bobby Hemmit. He said he'd been telling these Moors since 9/11, when he did a lecture in 2001 in Atlanta about all these sovereign citizen paper terrorist Moors. He not dissing Moors per se, because if I can show you so many videos with C. Freeman L., our elder, peace be among them. And who's sitting right there? Bobby Hemmit. Bobby Hemmit introducing C. Freeman L. No elders in the past, peace be among them souls, and an elder like myself. We don't, what real true elder that's the divine and the holy man and a tasawwuf speaks like that? Not one. Not one ancient holy man, none. You see all these modern people. And just like Bobby Hemmit told you, no matter who you call them, he said, they got to be some form of a plant. Why? Because that can easily be proven fallacy. And they still out here saying the same thing. Still today. And people went to jail for the stuff they saying. Like, are we that delusional? Are we that delusional, family? Like, it can't be that. Nobody taught that stuff. Our prophet didn't teach none of that stuff. Our prophet didn't say there's some auto talk shit. He said we Moorish Americans. What make us Moorish Americans? Because we was born here in America with African or Moroccan descent per se. And we not Moroccans. We're from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood. I mean, it's so much that need to be cleared up. We have a divine creed and a proclamation. We're not here to overthrow no government. None of that crap. How? Because if you know the Constitution, if you know the 13th, the 14th, the 15th Amendment, if you know manumissions, if you know Reconstruction law, if you know a real civics and a real scholar, then you understand what's going on. It ain't nothing to sign. That's paper terrorist stuff. I keep telling people. It's like, I already broke this down a plethora of times. We got to stand strong. And we got to clear it up. Because what's happening, you got to understand, why would anybody be allowed to be on the internet doing something and sharing it with people and so-called teaching classes that's proven is criminal? It got to be a setup. That's just like your homeboy go to prison for selling bricks or selling work, and he get right back out selling bricks, and you going to deal with it. Your spidey senses ain't picking up. Your spidey senses not picking up, like potential, this might not be right. So if there's any potential of anything, what? If you doing things on that level, what you got to listen to what? That divine inside. Think about what I'm saying, y'all. I promise you. That's why certain individuals, when they go through life, I'm not saying nobody is a peasant, but I'm saying on those lower mortal levels, it's not dealt with. Like when I say you'll never get me, in no debate, I don't debate. I'm not doing that. I operate in real life. I navigate in real life. I astroplane in real life. You know? And I'm glad I'm able to do that. But as I'm telling my brothers and sisters that say they Moors, you know, I'm trying to tell y'all, you got to stop following all that crazy stuff. You got to stop thinking it's some piece of paper that you can fill out that's going to change your life. You got to stop acting like some piece of ID card that you met somebody on the internet is going to change your life. You got to act like, you got to stop thinking these people got some special law or some precedent in law. And if they have something, all you have to do is ask them. They shouldn't get mad. It's, let me see all cases that you run prior to you talking to me that you defended in a court of law. I bet you it's going to be zero. Not a whole bunch of quoting a whole bunch of law that's out of jurisdiction or a whole bunch of cases that has nothing to do with A and B, because that's what's going to happen too, but we're not going to deal with that. Never. That's all you're going to get. You're going to get a whole bunch of semantics. Because what? There's no more on the internet that won no cases in no court of law. Now I can show you a whole bunch of Moors, they real name, that went to court under traffic violations and squatting in houses. And I can show you the task force pulled them out, but they'll never show their faces because a lot of them ran to Canada. And then not Canada, but China. And then they pop up in the city in Atlanta and teach people how to be criminals and go back to China. I'm telling you what I know. I've been telling people this for years. Everybody's not wrong and everybody's not right. It's a thin line. You know what I mean? And you have to have a spirit of discernment to be able to have something to compare to. And if your heart is pure, like I said, if your heart is pure, if you sincere, then you will be able to see the clean and the dirty. And you will be able to compare and contrast and know right off the dribble that this is not right. Unless you're looking to be a criminal. And nobody should go to, just like a lot of my homeboys in prison, I say, well, they be like, well, don't y'all know why she can go to all the prisons? Why he like, the wardens know who he is? I said, dude, because I teach the truth. I don't want nobody to go to prison and learn how to do some criminal stuff and then get out. So you went to prison, you went in prison and you learn how to defend the law, but then you come do this more stuff and lose your life. I'm telling y'all, this is real stuff that happened. And I tell people, you can't talk about it. Okay, if you was in law school, you got to deal with certain cases and then you got to analyze the cases. Oh, you can't talk about it. It's President of Law Cases, Doc Number Free Information Act. I just told you when a person said you can't talk about it, shut up. Yes, you can. It's a thing called write it down. Precedent of law cases, doc number, and a Free Information Act. You do anything, it's public information. So when these so-called Moors acting like they're going to do something or travel here and there like they always do this, I show you, I said, dude, I'm sorry to say, I love everybody. But if you don't know the case, like most people don't know the cases and know how to look at cases and have all the paperwork, when people read, a person can recant, they'll recant and all type of shit. If you're not studying the cases as students, as we do in academia, then you just going on how you feel. But the fact of the matter is, the evidence still is facts. And the facts is, the whole thing wasn't right. So when you can analyze things and when you can say, hey, this not right, this not right, this not right, you don't lead nobody into no burning house. You don't give no person no half-truths. They say what the Ku Klux Klan and the NRA on it. I said, dude, why do you compare yourself to others? If I'm doing things like we do, you do things the right way. Okay, if you want armed security, then everybody had a gun license. We have armed security. If you want to walk the streets and protest, what we do, we get a permit. It's simple. It's not hard. It's not hard. We have our security. We call it the Muftis of Allah. MOA, armed security, armed and unarmed. We have both. All my security have guns. You never know. All my Muftis, when I travel or certain places, things, if I want to roll like that, they're armed. You just have a permit. You don't have to do nothing illegal. And then when you travel from one jurisdiction, like they like to say, to the other jurisdiction or state to state, then you got to understand the state laws and how you carry that firearm. See, these are just you have to know. Now, if you want to abide by any rules you want to, then you must face the consequences. And I'm not here to tell nobody what consequences that you want to face, but you can't make that decision for the group of the body, because everybody's not built like that, especially if you got young people or people that's scary or didn't know. They're not built like that. So everything is going to start cracking. This one I say, I don't tell nobody what to do, but I'll just say, think about what you're doing, because the consequences is on both sides. And when it happens, it happens. And all this stuff was played out on the internet. Even when the cases were still in court. I showed y'all a lot. People send me stuff. They like, shit, this dude is on the internet telling his whole case and some makeshift Morse consulate in the basement. I said, well, all the court's going to do is use that whole video. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Nothing you can say to the courts, to the police, or nothing going to help you in your case. So you got to be the craziest bleepy, 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 bleep, 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 bleep in the world to get your bleepy, bleep on the internet, on YouTube, with some so-called fake Morse consulate in the basement and tell the whole case. Man, don't y'all know the prosecuting attorney and the task force police that's on here all day, they just licking their chops? Y'all don't know that? Like, this is honesty. We can't be that crazy. We can't be that stupid. It's an open case. I'm telling you, these is facts. And the brother said he drove trucks and he made $250,000 a year, $250,000 a year. So why would anybody in their right mind that's making $250,000 a year stoop that low to deal with a group of brothers unless you that's brainwashed? And then, of course, brainwashed is no excuse in the real world. Now, maybe in military per se, but not for an average person to say you brainwashed. No, that don't work. Just like not paying your tax and talk about your tax preparer paying it. No, you're responsible. This is no slander. I bet you that brother if that brother that's on there, he'll be like, man, I wish I would have listened to Sheikh Khari Goodman Bey. He's been saying this stuff forever before anybody was on the internet, and he's been standing silent forever. I said, because I know too many Moors that's done it. Even the Moors that wrote the Moors counseling book, he did. He had the Moors file fake taxes, old people. It's like, okay, I thought y'all don't pay taxes. Then now you filing fake taxes. You see how criminal that is? You see the oxymoron this, and nobody can talk about it? But the state booklet is correct. Why? Because they can't diss what the prophet done. Because the stuff that the prophet done is public information. Just like when people be talking about the 1099 and some trust fund at the end of the rainbow, that ain't nothing but a religious affidavit. You can get that from the CCRD, the County Clerk Recorder of Deeds. You can get it with the seal or not the seal. Just like when you get your graduation documents, you can get it official or unofficial. See, these big facts. I'm telling you, these is facts. And the joke be on them. They be getting a bleepity bleep handed to them. Why? Because there is no excuse of not knowing the law in a court of law. There's no disrespect. See, these brothers be snatching so-called cases from Hawaii and all these areas and try to bring them current to where they are. And I'll be laughing. I say, that's not going to work. And then they're misquoting the whole case. But you don't know that. Why? Because most people are not trained in the language. They just hear a case, a person quoting, and you say, see, this, and they start talking a whole bunch of double talk. And then when you got your cronies with you and they believe, it's like the Hebrew Israelites, it's a whole bunch of nonsense. But what happens is, jail. It's no disrespect to no one. It never turned out right for none of that stuff. For none of them. Even a lot of, let me break something down to y'all. Even a lot of people be making videos, they be mocking a lot of Moors, and I'll be like, well, he's just using the name Bay to mock people. And people don't even be catching it. I'm telling you, all on YouTube, but see, that's why I tell people it never happened to me, because I operate correct. You can't deny who I am. I have the right of a nationality. I have the right to change it. No one will be arbitrarily denied of a nationality and a right to change it. And the claim a child replaces the birth certificate. The religious rights of the indigenous people. House during Revolution 75. No one can tell me who I am. I tell you who I am for the record. I know who my family are on both sides. I choose to be who I am. So that's number uno. Now, when it comes back to doing things the right way and dealing with this paper terrorist stuff that I tell Moors, and Moors going around talking about they some Moroccans or they some foreign nationals. How are you a foreign national right here? That's an oxymoron. You don't even have dual citizenship. Like, and then, have you ever thought about this? Moors be talking about they're going to expatriate from this so-called de facto government. You never thought about this? When you expatriate from this so-called de facto government, then tell me, who are you in allegiance with? I wait. When you do that, when you went some class or somebody tell you to do all this and the powers that be let you do that stupid stuff, just like Bobby Hemmit just told you, who do you have allegiance with? When you don't listen to some crony on the internet tell you to expatriate from this de facto government, and your mama here in the States and the girl you living with on welfare, maybe. I'm not saying she is. I'm just giving you an analogy. Who do you have allegiance with? You will be a domestic terrorist. You know that, right? You know that, right? And then when people be on the internet, watch this, talking about that militia stuff, because somebody sent me another video of the dude that's popular on Instagram that just be wolf tickets, the little skinny dude with the, I don't want to say too much, but pick it up if you can. And he on there telling people, just form a militia. I say, see, that's the stupidest thing that these cockeyed plants be doing. That be coming out of nowhere and selling out for $1. I said, why would you tell any brother to form a militia? That's criminal. Why? That's what the European doing. That's criminal behavior talk. That's overthrow the government stuff. I'm not here to overthrow no government. For what? Do you understand the language? What I be telling my brothers and sisters. It's like, dude, none of that stuff is more science. That's fascist stuff. And then you got people on the internet with all these beige talk about, I'm gonna show you how to cancel this, cancel corporate debt, and can I cancel this to get an SSI check, and can I do this to get Section 8 and welfare? Really? Like really? Like come on, my people. Like, oh, I want to do this to get this before I can get this bill off. But did you go in that contract a willing obligor? Yes. So what we talking about? This a whole bunch of paper terrorist stuff. And just like Bobby Hemmit said, he lectured this during the 9/11, and he lectured it in 2001 when he spoke up all them paper terrorist Moors. And it's 2025. And so Bobby Hemmit talking about all of them. So just imagine if Bobby Hemmit got on social media and watched all these people talk about this sovereign citizen and overthrowing the government and expatriating, and they canceling corporate debt and all this UCC this and file this and file this. Bobby Hemmit talking about all them. And y'all know that's true. I just played the video. And then I can show y'all videos of brothers getting pulled over and they calling they so-called Grand Sheik, and he come talking a whole bunch of secret meeting in China and the Russians. Like, really? Like, what that got to do with anything? Like, I'll be telling people, like, man, come on, man. Like, come on. This is no disrespect to nobody. Nobody should be losing their lives over this stuff. Nobody should be out here playing no game, no stupid game with a whole bunch of stack of papers. You getting pulled over and you having a stupid ass conversation with a goddamn cop that don't know what the hell you talking about. Do you know who you are? Do you know this? No, he don't know all that. No, they don't know nothing. They ain't went to no law school. They went to 2 weeks training. Come on, man. These brothers, y'all doing some Roger Elvick, sovereign citizen, goofy stuff. And another European group called the Paradigm Group. See what happened to them group of people. All of it fall in the same jurisdiction. Everything I'm talking about fall under the same jurisdiction. And I think everybody know I'm telling the truth. I can give you people be talking about, oh, it's some conflict law about more of this, the conflict general, the conflict. I already broke that down. If a Moor kill a U.S. citizen or vice versa, if a U.S. citizen kill a Moor, that Moor want to be judged in the same parameters as that U.S. citizen. Y'all know I'm telling you facts. I done did this a plethora of times. A plethora of times. I've done this in university. I've done this in law class with my professor. He said, you're 100% right. But what you're saying have to be done the right way. I said, I know. Everybody has the right. If the European Jews have the right, what you mean I don't have the right? If fraternities have the right, fraternal orders, are you telling me I don't have the right? If the Klan have the right as a fraternal order, you think I don't have the right to wear my religious regalia and to keep my holy days? And to be whoever I am in my community? And if my heart is pure and my chakra is above, I rise above. My heart is pure. I don't wear this for no title. Cause all my muftis look just like me. All my muftis are nobles, adapts. This is what I'm saying. So the heart is pure. So I rise above the chattiness and the internet beefing that y'all see a lot of these Moors doing, debating with all this falseness. And you see 99.9% of the Moors on the internet showing you how to be a paper terrorist and showing you how to overthrow the government. Talk about some UCC file. And you even got ladies doing this stupid shit. It's like I be feeling sorry for the babies. I really do. Well, you don't even know down on the bottom when you fill out your to get a passport, you don't even have to put your name on it. Like, okay, now what? Now what? Now you got some more money. No, your life better. No. All this paper terrorist stuff for what? Because anywhere I go, I got a passport with my feds on. What we talk about? I just got a passport. I would go ahead for anywhere I want to go. Why do I need any of that stuff? Why? Tell me why. Because if that's the case, it's really fugazi. Why? Because that means every individual can make their own. You ain't thought about that? What made them more special than you? Oh, somebody more special than you that you can't create their own. They telling you some of the most outlandish shit to do, and they so powerful. Why don't you just take that same stupid shit they saying that you taking the class and do it yourself and make your own ID? You should be that smart. Think about it. They telling you to deal with them and take this stupid ass class, and for they can print you some stupid ass ID that they done went to Amazon or made or some ID company that made, which is all pageantry. You might as well do it yourself. You ain't thought about that? Because it ain't a valuable. You might as well do it yourself. Theirs is just as valuable as yours. You ain't thought about that? You ain't thought about that. Some Negro or some lady, because they got some studio with a podcast with people there, Europeans and everything, and you think that shit valid? Really? Like, this is what I be telling people, man. This stuff is staged. And I said, poor people. Poor people. I bet you they won't take that to no real people. But a lot of this stuff be fugazi. That's why I tell you, criminals come in all shapes and sizes. You're going to have the European militia and the so-called sovereign citizen Negro Moor sitting in jail right next to each other, kumbayaing. I'm telling you what I'm telling you. Why? Because those the ones that's teaching that bullshit. Excuse my candor. You got the sovereign citizen Negro Moors and you got the European militias that's teaching that same bull crap. You can go on the internet and find it. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. You got Europeans teaching that same stuff that these so-called sovereign citizen Moors talk, the language and everything. So how can they be especial if the European talking the same thing you talking? I'll wait. The only difference is you got a fez or a turban on. Some of them don't have one on. So therefore, you a Negro militia. See? Don't be mad at me. I bet you no one can't deny what I'm saying. I bet you can't. I bet you can't. It's already been done. It's already been proven. All that stuff is paper terrorism. All that UCC stuff, the only UCC you should be worrying about is reserving your rights when you go into any contract, which most Negroes don't read. You don't read a phone bill. You don't read a internet bill. Nothing that you people get. They don't read the contract. How to defend yourself in the court of law? Because the person that don't defend themselves in the battle, that means what? You already lost. Duh. This what I be telling brothers and sisters. I be like, man, where do people be getting it from? And they don't even want to say where they be getting the crap from. It's like, so you protecting a criminal behavior. So if somebody else get it, say if your son watching some videos and not telling you, and then they come out the basement like a lot of these Negroes do, like they got something and they go do it and he go get himself in trouble, and you never said nothing to him about it, or y'all never had a conversation about it to protect them from the stuff that's not going to do any good for him or her. And we're not going to have those conversations. Well, how we going to learn? We're not going to sit down and say, okay, dude, this has nothing to do with no driving tickets. I could show the video. If y'all want me to show the video, all you got to do is say, yeah. I could play the video. I got the video. I'll play the video, and you can compare it for yourself and be like, does this make sense? And it ain't no disrespect. And that's what I'll be telling people. I said the reason why people don't know is because people don't be seeing what's happening. You get a whole bunch of people after the fact saying a whole bunch of stupid stuff. Like you get people at the airport holding up some damn Moore's travel document they got from China like that means something. I said, dude, y'all don't know real life. This stuff happens so much and nobody wins. Nobody went to court with their Moore's law, and stood with their feet out and won some court case and say, see, I won this. See, this is our land and we done claimed this and I claimed it. That is that's trash. It's no precedent in law cases, there's no doc numbers. I can show y'all what happened to a lot of the Moors with that stuff. I can show you what happened to them. I can show you a lot of prisoners that tried to use that stuff and they call them insanity. I can show you a lot of these Moors today that's locked up. A dude wrote a book, got his head locked up out here. He called himself some president of Morocco. I say, dude, how are you the president of Morocco? And people fall for that. Or then they laugh, he, and joke. But this, like, you can't play with people like that. Should nobody over here in the United States of America should be talk about they the president of Morocco in some basement? That's dangerous. Should nobody talk about the Moroccan general walking around here, and you know, in a police uniform with a badge like that A22 number means something, and that ain't nothing but a religious affidavit. I'm telling y'all, these is facts, and no real God, man, prophet done none of this stuff. So I asked Moors, where all of a sudden did they get this stuff from? Bobby Hemmit been saying he know where he got this stuff from. These Moors mixing it. They're gonna be the first ones, not all. Not all, because you can't do something to ones that's right. Because it was Moors before all this stuff. And Moors were ancient Amazikians. That's a whole nother story. But I tell Moors, where have you got all this criminal behavior from? And nobody will never say nothing. Nobody will say nothing about it. But I know where. I can say name all the names. They'll be like, whoa. I know one dude that back years ago, see, they don't know because they jumped on my page one day and shut himself down. He was like, Sheik, I want to apologize. I said, you don't have to apologize. But I said, I know that's Fugazi. He was like, please don't stop my hustle. I said, man, listen. I said, a lot of people are going to go to jail. This dude was having seminars, had a fake doctoral graduation hat. I said, so you got your doctoral? He like, what you mean? I said, because the hat you got on, because that regalia, that Hex Alpha is a doctoral graduation cap. I'm finna get one. Or did you order, I'm about to have one because, you know, I'm finishing my doctoral. Or did you buy it off Amazon? He laughing. I said, dude, you know, he used to match his cars, teaching all the people that paper terrorist stuff. And now they reinvent himself. He's still doing the same thing, but I don't know if he have lectures no more, but he's still on the internet. And I'll be telling people, you gotta think for a second. If all this stuff is so great, get some real testimonies of anybody getting anything, because I don't know what you're trying to get from that stuff. Like, what do you think you're gonna earn? What do you think you're getting ready to get Filing some paper, doing what? Like what? Or reverse? I need to reverse this and get this. Like what do you think? What all that's going to do and change your life? It's not going to do nothing, and you know it because they not doing that stuff. They make their money off a Ponzi scheme and a pyramid scheme. How? To convince the dumb person that they can walk on water. It's always going to be a sucker. Think about that. It's always going to be a sucker. Think about it. And when a poor sucker thinks they can buy some paperwork or take a class for freedom, it's always going to be those. It's only going to be Negroes and poor Europeans. I'm telling you big facts. You know? But the Negroes always get abused the most, doing criminal behaviors that Albans trailer like what Europeans do, which is no disrespect to none. No disrespect. You know, I tell them when they try to say, oh, the more they think they feds gonna do this, I say, dude, you know your dad have a fez. He wear it in clandestine, and his fez has writing on it, just like all presidents, just like all any officials, just like most of European Masons, they wear the fez. A lot of them wear the black fez with the red tassel, but that's a whole nother conversation. So you can't play that game, you know, because most of them are lower level 32 and 33 degree Freemasons. Scottish Rites. It's a couple black Scottish Rites, but most blacks be only the fictitious Prince Hall, Negro Masons. These is facts, but it's no disrespect once again. I'm just saying when a person will try to, you can't compare something dirty to something that's clean because you're going to always have something dirty. Always. I can show you just as much dirty in European Albion society the same way you can find in misnomer black and misnomer any other culture. Because crime happened where you live at. That's just what it is. So when we talk about this more science, this stuff is older than me and you. I'm talking about Deuce Muhammad Ali. I'm talking about Abdul Hamid Suleiman. I'm talking about the first Moorish Mason, Angelo Solomon. I mean, we were Moors way before our prophet. What our prophet did is created the Moorish Science Temple of America. And the Moorish Science Temple of America was considered as an Islamic sect. It was considered a school. I'm telling you. And that's why I tell people, the Moorish Science Temple of America was never an Islamic sect. Because Moorish science, we don't gravitate to one science where we miss the essence of the rest. I'm a Tasawwuf. I'm a Sufi. I'm under the triple rose. I understand the Paraclete, the Fatimid, and the Jerusalem. And then if you understand really thing about history, the Ankh, Coptic, Twahedo Christianity use the Ankh as symbology. So when people be twisting it, they just not learned enough. You just not learned enough because we let people confuse us. And we're from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood. And I just told you the Ankh is historical because the Christian Coptic Twahedo, the Ankh, we use that as symbology. Just like I'm a Rosicrucian, the Rose and Cross. I told y'all, how can I talk about the fire if I haven't been out in the fire and came out unscathed? I keep telling my people, it's like, come on, man. This supreme wisdom right here. No 32 or 33 degree European Negro Masons is going to tell you the truth. They can't because they took an oath. It's going to be truth and falsehood. It's a lot of them that made videos. The elders, I'm not going to say their names, but they ain't going to pop up on here because then I'll show you the video where they told you, but you just didn't catch it. They'll tell you a little bit and then they'll say, well, I'm a Mason. I can't tell you no more. And you ain't even catch it. I'm telling you what I'm telling you. No disrespect from a lot of those brothers, but that's just how it is. It's only going to be a certain information they're going to be able to tell, and then it stops. Think about it. It's no disrespect. That's why I tell people, I'm not going to tell everything on here. That's why I have private classes with my muftis. I tell people, do you see any other group of people giving a business plan up on here? Do you see, when I tell us we have enough money, Moors, we could have been had a temple. How? I was showing a person, I said, you got 2,500 people giving $150 a month. That's like $350,000 a month. At the end of the year, that's like 4.5 million. Easy. I'm from the city of Flint. Do you know how much operation we can do? And that's all tax-free money. How? Because we give our money away to Uncle Sam willingly. And then we think we're getting a tax return instead of donating to our charitable and religious contribution of our choice and get a tax and receipt and build our infrastructure, but we give our money away willingly because we think we're getting a tax return. And I teach this. I taught this on academia. That's how the Jews are winning. My European Jewish colleagues, they winning because they split their money three ways. they say, well, I hope it catch on before you die, Sheik. And I said, I hope it do too. I tell everybody, the percentage that you should be donating to your organization, when I talk about donating to your temple and school, it shouldn't be a problem because the work that it's doing. So say a person giving 10% and they say, well, 10% the church don't need this or this. How else are we going to have things and purchase things? This come from Melchizedek. And if the heart is pure, you should have no problem. It's set up. If you're going to help your religious and charitable community of your choice, then you're going to give it to Uncle Sam willingly. So if you make $40,000 a year, you got to give at least 10%. So that's $400. That's $400 a month. That could be $100 a week. So the more you make, the percentage go up. So in the state of Arizona, the more you make, the more percentage you got to donate to offset your taxes. So you can give, say if you make like 65, 70, you got to give like almost 13%. So if you're working with your church, you can get that 10%, and then the other can be in-kind service. In-kind service is the work you're doing for your church. It's like account receivable. And that's how we build infrastructure. And it's all tax exempt. Everybody get a tax as a receipt to donate to to give to their tax provider. Just like in a neighborhood, the hustler can drop money in a tithe box and it can be used for good. That's how the Sopranos did everything. I tell people, when you black, you have no lawyer and client confidentiality. No black preacher have lawyer and client confidentiality. Every black preacher, watch this, will get subpoenaed. I'm telling y'all can go on YouTube and see all these so-called prisoners that's preachers now, and he talk about how the police been having criminal informants, and this dude know about all the stuff that's finna happen. And I say, yeah, because he won. Because they got to tell the information because they don't have lawyer and client confidentiality. That's how I know. I'm trying to tell you what I know. Think about it. And so everybody get caught up in a game because we don't come together and don't understand that our spirituality trumps everything. It's one nationality, many cultures. We're not here to tell nobody who their mother and their father is, because I know who my father and mother is. I know my coat of arms. I know my family crest. But I'm not here to promote you to file some fake ass paperwork. What paperwork do you got to file if you know your family history? What do you got to do? All you must do is proclaim, declare, and have due process. Know who you are individually and then collectively, and then under the religious laws. That's when it's trumped. And then you do things in your religious set. Understand this. Just like anything else. Just like anything else, when you go into a union, when certain people are notified. Just like how the prophet set up the temple. When I show y'all the state booklet. Think about it. Just like when you go into a union, anybody I do now, you don't have to go to court and go on no third-party contract. Your spiritual house can do that. Your spiritual house can do that, can do the union. We have our own paperwork. Do you see the Mormon or the Amish or the Latter-day Saints going to the government doing anything? No. Do you see them standing for the national anthem? No, because the religious laws trump all that. You just don't know because you're on the internet trying to overthrow the government, which is the stupidest thing in the world. And America is the only place that you can have all religious freedoms. I tell all these goofy Negroes, talk about they want to expatriate from this de facto government. Well, leave America. Leave America right now. I bet you your whole family, your mama and everybody, they're going to be crying because your whole family ain't going with you. I bet your wife don't believe in that shit. I bet you your mama, your aunties, most of your family members don't believe in that stuff. So if you don't like America, well, leave. This what I tell every more that talk that stupid shit that's on welfare, that got jobs or whatever. Just pack your shit up and leave. Or keep listening to these Moors, and when you expatriate, and once Trump ship your ass to Guantanamo Bay, then we'll see. Because that's what's finna happen to all these criminals. I'm trying to tell you. Bobby Hemmit just told you. Negroes be the first one to be examples made of. Who? The so-called aliens, the so-called, and them so-called sovereign citizens that hate America, that willingly gave themselves up. Them misnomer Mexicans y'all gonna be locked up with in the FEMA camp gonna be like, you stupid. You don't willingly gave up your allegiance to America and they want to be Americans with your dumb self? Watch. Are you thinking? Nobody ain't thinking. Nobody still ain't thought about it. I didn't think about that. You want to expatriate and people want to come here. This is the only place where a person can have nothing and have something. Where people come from a dictator country on a goddamn boat and be doctors and lawyers. And these Negroes in here on welfare and all that and want to expatriate. You're not finna go to Africa and get no welfare. You're not gonna go to Africa and get no Popeyes. So where you gonna live? Oh, I'm gonna build a house, or I'm gonna go to this tribe. No, you're not. No, you're not. That's make-believe. That's make-believe. Oh, we need the Great Migration. The Great Migration ain't going to Africa. The Great Migration, I'm American. The Great Migration is for all my people to move in a certain area. And we have a religious community just like everybody else. When you have a neighborhood and it can be a religious community like the Jews, like anybody else. Come on, man. Like stop the cap. Stop the cap. And when did they start calling misnomer black people Negroes and anything? That's modern. I'm telling you, and everybody know I'm telling the truth. When it's done the right way, we got to get rid of all of these charlatans. I don't care if they old or young. We got to start telling out where did everybody get this, filing this paperwork and doing all this? Because I know where y'all got it from. Because at first the man was talking about the Zodiacus, talking about the woman. That's how they got everybody. And then they start, oh damn, they need to make money. So they coming out with all this paper terrorist stuff. And then they came out with some fake ass Moorish consulate. And then they had that bald headed man, Shalimar Bey, and y'all and everybody that called the Grand Sheik with them. And y'all know that they was talking about they was nationalizing people. And y'all saw what happened. Y'all saw what happened. I ain't disrespecting nobody, but they be telling y'all all this and all that, and this person had a European wife. No disrespect. Talking all this stuff about misnomer white people, Albie and Trailerdyke, which I don't have a problem with nobody because the heart is the heart. But then this man has a European woman. And then they get on, and when all the people get in trouble, then people trying to defend the lie. Well, they didn't say they was the Moorish consulate. Dude, don't you sit up here and lie. Don't you sit up here and lie. I'll pull out all the evidence. And everybody was filling out paper because these people said that there was the Moorish consulate. And people were saying they was nationalizing through the Moorish consulate, which is just a fascist group. You just say it's your religion. But they ain't even going to be honest with that. I'm telling you, because people want freedom that bad. And I understand people's heart. Don't get me wrong. That's why I'm sincere with everything I say. I say what I'm saying on the corner with a bullhorn. I'm from Flint, Michigan. I live in Arizona. I travel from Cali, Vegas, Sacramento. I'm getting ready to go in the next couple of weeks. I'll be going to Denver in a few more months. I travel all over. I'm a graduate from Clear University and Grand Canyon University. Period. I'll do lectures in colleges, high schools, all that. I mentor young kids. I work in ADHD. I have license and all that. I speak the truth. And that's just what it is. And nobody can get on here and say what I'm saying is not real. We listen to a person who just talk a whole bunch of word salad. And we like that. Well, it's a secret meeting in China and Russia. Man, this dude just got put over for license. And all these stupid retired Negroes over here talk about Islam. Islam what? Like, Islam what? Islam what, sir? Just take the ticket. And then he told him to take the ticket and sign your name on the ticket at a 45-degree angle. See, this is the stuff that really perturbs me. When somebody say something stupid, everybody like, hear what he said? Sign your name, 45-degree angle. What? Like, I know you just ain't repeat that stupid stuff. Yeah, he said, sign your name on it at a 45-degree angle. To do what? And then make 2 copies of it. To do what? To do what? Ain't nobody gonna question. I'll play the video. That's why I be saying this stuff is stupid. They know not to come to me with that dumb stuff. And then you had these cronies talk about debate with your best scholars. I'll put up $1,000. These niggas don't even have 1,000. How you gonna bet somebody 1,000? You don't have 1,000. Nigga, bet 1,000, shoot 1,000. Excuse my candor. And this is what I'll be saying. Like, this is stupid. Any books that you want, I don't have to promote nobody else's library or have you go spend a whole bunch of dollars for some paper. Anything you want, I can get it to you as a PDF because I converted all these books to PDF, or I'll print it and bind it for you for a fraction of the price. It ain't nothing that nobody got on this internet that you can't get from me for a fraction of the price. And y'all should know that already. I have a whole My PDF books. I converted over 1 million books and documents to ebooks and PDFs. MyPDFbooks.com. That's books with a Z. And then we have another company called BindedBooks.com where we print and bind expensive and rare books. I have a plethora of expensive and rare books. Over $5,000, $6,000, some books $10,000. And we print them and bind them. It's just paper. I got Marcus Garvey's letters on Amazon charging $3,000 because it's in a frame. I got all that. It's nothing that nobody can sell you that a scholar and an educator don't have. Why? Because I'm connected to the same source that they have. It ain't nothing. It ain't no ancient bookstore or this book nobody can get. BS. I'm connected to all the ancient bookstores. There's one in Detroit with a Gnostic library in the basement. There's one at Harvard. There's one at Cambridge. So what these clowns talking about? Nothing. And I'm part of the Philosophical Research Society in Los Angeles. So we done. And I hope y'all know what the Philosophical Research Society is. We have an ancient library in the back. I'll be waiting for somebody to say something stupid. Oh, he's some lower level free. He's a potentate. No, he ain't. He's an elder. He's initiated. He's anointed. He ain't took no oath. If you did, find the charter that I took an oath with. They just mad because I know everybody else's charter. That's all. And I come from love. I don't be mad at nobody. Hell, Steve Coakley told us the Greek is a fraud. The Greek is a fraud. Hell, George G.M. James told you it's stolen legacy. All that Greek history is nothing but stolen legacy. Why you mad at me? We're going to give all our science to somebody else that don't look like us. And I say, but your brother right here. Right in your face. And if the European would be like, he right here. He the one that teach the degrees. He 99 degrees. Like, what are we talking about? Peter Lambert Wilson told us that. You know? All through ancient Masonic books, the European tell you, sign the symbols of the primordial man. Read sign the symbols of the primordial man. Read Natural Genesis. You have brothers doing things totally wrong. And even, listen, man, even when I talk about language, that's the thing that really gets me when I see a lot of old people just be talking and they know a lot of people, young Moors and even Moors my age, I'm 48, they know they don't have the aptitude and they just try to use a whole bunch of word salad or semantics. They not coming to me with that crap because we shutting that down all real fast. That stuff don't mean poo diddly. And it ain't work for them. I'm telling you, when people be needing medical help, where you go? Where you think they got to go? They go where? To the doctor. And if they don't have no insurance, then they try to collect money. They go to the doctors. They talk all this Russia and China and this secret meeting, but when your ass gets sick, where you going? You ain't going to Morocco. You got to go to the doctor. And most of them going to the clinic. This is no slander, man. It ain't no piece of paper for no more that's gonna make you do this or magically make you something. You would be a paper terrorist and expatriate from this de facto government. Why would you do that? Why would you expatriate from some de facto government and then you don't have allegiance to no other country? Why would you do that? You don't even have dual citizenship. Why would you do that? You can't even explain that, brothers and sisters. I'm saving somebody. Yep, I got about 15 more minutes and I'm out. But I showed the elder Bobby Hemmit how in 2001 he was saying this to the Moors. Like, and then today, you can go on TikTok, you can go on Facebook, Instagram, especially TikTok, and see all these Moors saying the same stuff that Bobby Hemmit is busting their head with. But then they say they love Bobby Hemmit, or then people say, I'm saying something wrong. And if Bobby Hemmit was right here, he'd be like, man, this man is saving y'all. And he'll look at all my videos. He's like, this man been saving y'all. How you like me and don't like him? Like how? Like how? And then I'm giving you all the information. I'm telling you that comes from Roger Elvick, Paradigm Group. And then a lot of them crazy bums in Atlanta riding around in fake police cars with badges. And I say, okay, at the end of the day, what good is that doing for any group of people? Because if that's the case, then things should be done a right way. And it's not. It's steady trying to overthrow something, and it's nothing to overthrow. Because nobody have a problem with no one gathering the right way if you doing things the right way. Think about what I'm saying, man. A lot of people is just because when COVID came and people were sitting at home, they watched a lot of videos of these old people. They started watching that stuff in that conscious community. You know, with Sonetter videos, you start seeing people debating. You start seeing people, boom, popping out with fezzes. People haven't seen in a while. You start seeing people pop with, what's my man name that went to prison? No disrespect. I got to set the press. Polite. That's how he came out. And he was talking about that nationalizing stuff. That's how he got a lot of people in that conscious community. Why? Because he was smarter. He was under the Nuwabian. He understood a lot of Masonic science. He knew a lot of the tablets. He couldn't do that to me because I know it all. Not I'm a know-it-all, but I know that wisdom because I'm astute to the wisdom. I have to be. I know where the tablets come from. I know where the Syriac language come from. I know where all that come from. So to a people not knowing, when you unsincere and you have a motive, that's what happens. That's why I said it can't happen with me, because I rise above the heart chakra. I hope people understand it. So no weapon formed against me, I rise above. That's why I'm able to tell the beast and recognize the beast as soon as I see it, and boom, attack the beast right then and address it. It's almost like the Scooby-Doo movie. I'll be pulling that wool off the head. It's like, boom, this is what it is. So once I reveal it, boom, it's nothing. And they know it. Everybody know it. That's where all this stuff comes from. When that conscious community, everybody got caught up in that. The young Pharaoh dude got caught up in that. He was trying to sue Polite for some paperwork stuff. People were sending me stuff. I used to get emails like, man, we'll have you come to New York. We know your family from New York and all this. And no, I don't inject in no drama. And I've been telling people this stuff for years. That's where it all came from. That's where it all came from. And then other people started picking it up, or other people was trying to do it. It's almost like whose fake shoe is the best. Somebody fake shoe got to be better because everybody want the fake shoe. So he was able to package his fake shoe, not only in a fashion to do that, but in a fashion to reinvent himself, and then in a fashion to where he's popular and got a lot of money and teach these classes, these credit repair classes. But how you gonna teach credit repair and give credit? Like that, like a lot of stuff is fugazi. And if you teach classes, you teach classes. In general, you rent a space and say, man, not only do I have online classes, but if you're in my area, hell, I teach classes too. Bam. But you can't do that because it'll be too many real testimonies of this. It's fugazi. I know how you can buy testimonies. I tell people, just like you can buy views. It's the same thing. You can be on somebody's page and they buy 1 million views thinking this stuff work to get you in the hook. It's no disrespect to no one. It's an old Jedi mind trick. And I tell people, but I know where this stuff came from, right? I know where all that debate, the Hebrew Israelite debate the Moors, debate the Muslim. I know where all that stuff come from, all that lower level wisdom, and have a group of people that look the same, arguing over something that they can't even prove. But then when they start dealing with the real language, you be like, damn, it's just a joke. You don't see no Europeans doing that. Albies are treated like that. A lot of people be talking about the white man is. You don't see them. You don't see the Sephardic and the Ashkenazi or whatever type of Jews you want to call them, European Jew or whatever, on the internet disrespecting each other, having debates. You don't see them on here talking about they plan. And if they are on here, they gathering people to come to the spiritual house and do something that's real with their money, that they understand they have the right to donate to their religious and charitable contribution. And they build infrastructure while we give it to Uncle Sam and argue with each other. Think about it, y'all. How can we all have the same book and have a different understanding? How can misnumbered black people have the Bible and the Quran and think the Bible and the Quran is two different books? And they got the same forefathers. Like, nobody never taught you language? Like, really? Like, it's asinine. No, so you don't understand metaphors. So you don't understand analogy, parable, and symbology. You don't understand hermeneutics and hermetics. You don't understand language and linguistics and Latin and German and Koine Greek. No. Oh, that's sad. You don't understand that the Bible and the Quran speaks the same language. We off. And we being laughed at. And also academically, from scholarship, historically, because 1 and 2 is the same thing. But when we talk about wisdom and understanding, we always let celebrities try to tell us something that don't have no history and no academia and no studies after they've been dissed in music. No disrespect. I'm just talking about what people send me. Like somebody said, look at Terrence Howard. He want to talk about Diddy after all this time. Oh, but you don't want to say nothing when it was happening. And then all these people, after they can't do this, they want to act like they so smart, but they weren't so smart then when they was willing to get this. And then all the money they make, okay, well, create your own. You know, it's just like these people try to tell you something about this and take advice from people and don't understand about supporting your religious and charitable contribution of your choice. That's what all European Jews do. You'll never see a European Jew in Hollywood or athletics get caught up for tax evasion. Why? Because they donate to their religious and charitable contribution of their choice. They don't have no tax preparer. Why? Because they donate to their religious and charitable contribution of their choice. That's why they build infrastructure. And they just get a tax exempt receipt. But misnomer Negro religious people give all their money away to Uncle Sam. Or if you donate to the church, the pastor don't even give you a tax exempt receipt. So you paying taxes twice. And the church don't even own infrastructure. You don't own the houses in the neighborhood to put the single moms and the seniors. We don't own nothing. We just give our money away. And that's why we have no infrastructure in our neighborhoods in our city of Flint. Why? Because we can do the same thing the church has been doing. All the Moors got to do is come together. The Moore Science Temple of America in my city of Flint, Michigan, the damn phone been disconnected forever. So I don't even talk about that no more. You can't even catch them up there. I talk about the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple in school. I go everywhere. I lecture and teach everywhere because I'm a God man. And this is what I tell our brothers and sisters. What do your kids believe? What do your wife believe? Because they don't believe none of that stuff that they saying. So why can't a God man come and save all my people and bring all of them under one roof and say, listen, we're going to deal with divine spirituality. I'm going to teach the history of this Bible and show you who you are, your history, your culture, to show you all this synchronized. That's what should be taught as a baby. This is what we talk about as a schoolmaster. We don't give away our history and our science because the Bible is not a book about, no disrespect again, it's not a European book. It's not talking about no European lineage in the Old Testament or the New Testament. If anybody say that, it's just false. My master's degree is in first century history and Christian education and linguistics from Grand Canyon University and Christian leadership. Look it up. Look me up. That's all I tell people. I'm telling you, the Bible, I don't care which one you read, the King James, whatever. All my Hebrew Israelites, which Hebrew just mean crossover, don't mean nothing. They don't read the Ethiopian Bible, but any Bible you get is a story of a certain people, the old and the new, and they don't have nothing to do with no history of no European. No disrespect, because I'll give you a little historical nugget, and I'm out of here. It's a book called The Russian Icons. I've been talking about this. I have it over here. It's one of the most historical books in the world. I done read it. I done read the preface to y'all. It says this is recommended for all Ivy League universities for your library for historical purpose and religious purpose. The Russian Icons by Vladimir Ivanov. Do you know who the Russian icons are? The Russian icons, all over the place, are the first church fathers. Saint Maurice and all of them are the ancient church fathers in the Old and the New Testament. I hope y'all understand that. When I go to the Catholic churches and to the Greek festivals, behind the little gold rope, behind the closed doors, they have Jesus and his 12 and his disciples, at the table. They're all melanated. They got pictures of Jesus, Yahshua, all in gold with gold chairs. So this is what I'm telling y'all. These is facts. I'm not disrespecting no one. I'm telling you, these is facts. It's been proven. So I tell everybody, the misnomer black man can prove that he is the father of civilization, proved by the Bible alone on that reference. So if any more dissing the biblical scriptures, they dissing themselves. I base my wisdom on understanding. And I've already done this a plethora of time in academia circles, especially my Islamic brothers, Islam Muslims. And I say, have you ever read the Bukhari Hadith? No, where it names all Muhammad's slaves. When I said, well, what was Muhammad? Who was he married to? Was he married to Khadijah? Where girl? He was married to one of them. What was she, a high Roman priestess? So is Islam catechism? Is Christianity catechism? Because I can show you, old Coptic Tawhido Christianity, our symbolism was the Ankh. Fact check me. I mean, this is what I'll be telling my brothers and sisters. I say, dude, historically, religiously, and lawfully, brothers, is totally off. Because we dealing with a lot of people that sat and watched videos, and just because they can put on a suit and put on some glasses, you think the monkey changes. Hell, I don't give a damn how much clothes you put on a monkey. It's still a monkey. A monkey in a suit cannot come and have a civilized conversation with a real scholar and a real elder that know precedent in law cases, doc number, and Free Information Act. They're not going to do that. Now, unless they that arrogant, some may. But then the people that's there that have common sense that'll be watching and be like, I think you should stop. Because you can't just arbitrarily explain nothing. You got to give me, when I say give me any precedent in law cases that prove that this have the outcome, and not no one else, you, because you can't be promulgating something that you never done. So show me that everything that you telling the person, well, I ain't never did it. Well, I heard. See, that's why I have a problem, because you lying, because ain't nobody else heard of it. So if you telling something or teaching something, just like if I'm telling you to work out and get in shape, I should be in shape. If I'm telling you how to save money, I should have a couple nickels to rub together. If I'm doing something and I want people to donate, I should have a couple nickels. Right? So all these people telling you to do these things, they should at least done them themselves. They should at least turn the camera on themselves when they telling you to file this and buy these packages from you. They should be able to turn the camera on themselves while they doing everything that they telling you. Not some, not a little, not half, not 75, not 80, 100% of what they telling you to do. They should already have done it. And I guarantee you they haven't. They can't speak on experience. They're going to use you as a crash dummy, and that's the criminal behavior. But we get caught up in criminal language because we don't have no one to give us something to compare to. I'm telling y'all, but once again, you don't have to listen to me. Listen to the elder Bobby Hemmit, as I shared earlier. No such thing as a sovereign citizen. All that paper terrorist stuff, more is going to go to jail. We don't do that. We don't expatriate from the de facto government. We don't do none of that. We don't pull out ID out on no European that causes confusion. Your ID is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequences. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these laws are disobeyed, justice must take its course. If you don't want to abide by these rules, turn back your fez, your turban, and your car, and return to the state where either prophet found you. Because we operate on love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And we have a proclamation and a declaration. And we're not here to overthrow no government. We don't talk that, not in streets or not in our homes. We're not with that. And we damn sure don't diss the biblical scriptures. And we not no Islamic sect. We're not. More is not. If anything outside yourself is true shirk. I don't believe in nothing out of myself. I'm not no Islam. When I say Islam, I'm a Sufi. I'm a Tasawwuf. I give recognition to the man, standing up. Like when you have the YHWH, where there's no vowels. You stand that up, you get man, standing up erect. Just like I don't have a problem with a religious Muslim doing the 5 salats. I do my al salat because I'm connected to God. I hope brothers and sisters really understand what I'm saying because I'm not Orthodox. I hope a clear understanding. This Moorish science is not no Islamic sect. This Moorish is not no political group. That we have a whole bunch of discussions trying to overthrow no government. Those are fascist groups, and all those people are going to jail or have went to jail. All those Moorish consulate and all that stuff went to jail. And you can pull all this stuff up. So that's not Moorish science. We're not no Islamic group. We're not no political group. The BBT is a school of brothers and sisters that know who they are, that proclaim, declare, and have their own due process, that understand that their nationality is Moorish American, that they choose their race as Asiatic, that our status is free white. We choose that. We understand the SF 181 form. Why? Because we understand law and civics and the choice that we have as Americans, and what we have, human rights. I'm not here to argue with no one, but I need my brothers and sisters' help. How? So we can build our temple and school so we don't have to complain. So we can watch all these people that's been saying that Moors is some sovereign citizens and Moors don't pay taxes and do all this. That's fallacy. And then you have Moors filing fake taxes. We don't want that to happen. We got to wake up. And I love everyone, man. And the truth will make you free. Peace and love.